There's a reckoning happening right now, and it's beautiful to watch. Some women who've spent years demanding special treatment, expecting the world to reorganize around their comfort, believing everyone owes them something. They're discovering reality doesn't care about their expectations. The gym bro who won't move his equipment for their tripod. The restaurant that won't comp their meal for being an influencer. The man who walks past without noticing them. Reality is undefeated, and these wake-up calls are multiplying daily. Let me show you what happens when entitlement meets indifference. The rising entitlement mixed with social expectation has created something unprecedented. Some people genuinely believe public spaces should accommodate their personal needs. I saw a video where this woman set up ring lights in a busy gym, then got angry when people walked through her shot. She actually said, "Can't you see I'm filming?" Lady, this is a gym, not your personal studio. The audacity to expect dozens of paying members to reroute their workouts for your Instagram content is staggering. But here's what's happening. People are done accommodating. That gym bro who kept using the equipment in her background? Hero. The guy who photobombed her deliberately? Legend. Because they're teaching an important lesson. Your comfort isn't everyone else's responsibility. Your content creation isn't a public priority. Your emotional needs don't override everyone else's right to exist. The attention-seeking versus actual self-worth paradox is fascinating to observe. These same people will post, "I don't need male validation," while wearing basically nothing at the gym, then get upset when men don't look. They'll say, "I don't dress for men," while checking every mirror to see who's watching. The cognitive dissonance is Olympic level. I watched this play out recently. Woman at the gym, sports bra and shorts that barely existed, doing hip thrusts directly in front of the free weights. When guys grabbed weights without looking at her, she got visibly frustrated. When one guy did look, she reported him for making her uncomfortable. So which is it? Do you want attention or not? Because you can't criminalize looking well dressed for maximum visibility. The victimhood as a coping strategy has become reflexive for some people. Didn't get the job? Discrimination? Guy not interested? He's intimidated, criticized online, harassment, failed at something. The system is rigged. There's always an external force to blame, never personal accountability. This isn't strength, it's fragility wrapped in aggressive language. A client showed me his ex's social media. Every post was about overcoming something, surviving something, being victimized by something. Her biggest trauma? He asked her to contribute to rent. This apparently was financial abuse. The same woman who lived in his apartment for 2 years rent-free. But in her narrative, she's always the victim, never the participant. The double standards in social interaction are breathtaking. I saw a video where a woman slapped a man's bottom at a bar, laughing with her friends. Security did nothing. 5 minutes later, a man brushed past her accidentally, and she screamed about assault. The same security rushed over. The hypocrisy was so obvious, even other women were calling it out. Some people behave in ways that would get men arrested. Grabbing without consent, following people around, taking photos without permission, making sexual comments, all while expecting zero consequences. Then they're shocked when someone calls them out. "But I'm just being friendly." No, you're being creepy, and your gender doesn't excuse it. The using men as resources mentality has become shameless. Dating profiles literally listing financial requirements. Must make 6 figures. Must own a home. Must pay for everything. But ask what they bring besides their presence. "I shouldn't have to prove my worth." Your worth is assumed, but his must be demonstrated through bank statements. I know a guy who went on a date where she brought 3 friends. They ordered lobster, expensive wine, desserts. When the check came, they all looked at him. He paid for his meal and left. They blast him online for being cheap. The entitlement to spend strangers' money is sociopathic, but it's been normalized in some circles. The overestimation of their own value while harshly judging others is comedy. Some people who are objectively average will rate themselves 10 out of 10 while calling decent-looking men mid. They'll demand perfection while offering participation. They'll have a list of requirements while bringing debt and drama. This delusion gets shattered in funny ways. Woman rejected a co-worker for being beneath her. He started dating someone younger and prettier. Suddenly she's interested, but he's moved on. Now she's telling everyone he played games with her. No, you overplayed your hand based on an inflated sense of worth. The lack of self-awareness about behavior is stunning. They'll cause scenes in public, then wonder why people avoid them. They'll be aggressive, then claim they're just passionate. They'll create drama, then complain about drama. The common denominator in all their problems? Them. But that connection is never made. I witnessed this at a coffee shop. Woman berating the barista about her order, causing a scene, holding up the line. When someone told her to relax, she exploded about women not being allowed to stand up for themselves. No, you're not standing up for yourself. You're having a tantrum over oat milk. The insecurity hidden behind loud confidence is transparent to anyone paying attention. The louder the proclamation of being a bad bitch or queen, the deeper the insecurity. Truly confident people don't need to announce it constantly. They don't need validation from strangers. They don't melt down when ignored. Watch what happens when these confident people face actual confidence. A man who's genuinely secure, who doesn't chase, doesn't simp, doesn't notice them, they lose their minds. Because their entire self-worth is built on male attention, and indifference destroys them. The mask slips immediately when they encounter someone who doesn't play their game. Here's what's really revealing. Watch how differently they treat attractive versus average men. The hot guy at the gym can literally do anything and it's fine. Stare, approach, even be aggressive, all acceptable. But let an average guy make eye contact. Harassment. The same behavior gets completely different responses based purely on the man's appearance. Then they wonder why average men have stopped trying. The social media distortion creating identity crisis is epidemic. Some people don't even look like their photos anymore. Filters, angles, editing, creating fictional versions of themselves online. Then they're devastated when real life doesn't match the fantasy. When someone meets them and isn't interested because they've been catfished. I had a friend who met someone from a dating app. Her photos were from 5 years and £50 ago. Every picture was filtered beyond recognition. When he politely ended the date early, she accused him of being fat-phobic. No, he just expected to meet the person in the photos, not their distant relative. The reality exposure versus persona collapse dynamic is painful to watch. When that carefully curated image meets reality, the reaction is often violent. Not physically violent, but emotionally explosive. The persona they've built can't handle truth, so they attack the truth teller rather than face facts. Some woman posted a video of herself at the beach talking about being a goddess among mortals. Someone posted security footage from the same beach, same day, without filters. The difference was shocking. Her response? Trying to get the person banned for harassment. Reality is now harassment. The rejection intolerance reveals narcissistic tendencies in many cases. They genuinely cannot process that someone might not be interested. In their mind, disinterest equals disrespect. Not being chosen means something's wrong with the chooser, not them. This isn't confidence. It's delusion. A bartender friend tells me stories. Some women will literally follow men around the bar after being rejected, grabbing them, insulting them, throwing drinks. But if a man did this, police would be called. The same behavior, different consequences based on who's doing it. The misinterpretation of men's behavior as either threat or interest is exhausting for men. Guy at the gym working out. He's showing off for her. Guy sitting alone at a cafe. He's too intimidated to approach. Guy walking the same direction. He's following her. Sometimes a workout is just a workout. Sometimes coffee is just coffee. This hypervigilance combined with main character syndrome creates impossible situations. Men can't exist in public without being assigned a role in someone's internal drama. You're either a potential threat or a failed admirer. You can't just be a person going about your day. The hypocrisy in relationship expectations is laughable. Some person living with parents, no car, no savings, demanding a man with his own house, luxury car, investment portfolio. When asked what they bring to match that success, they say, myself, as if their mere existence equals years of work and achievement. The projection is obvious. They condemn men for the very things they do. Men are so shallow while having height requirements. Men only want one thing while offering nothing else. Men are gold diggers while expecting everything paid for. The lack of self-reflection is stunning. The emotional instability and attention addiction creates public spectacles, drunk confrontations, jealous outbursts, attention-seeking behavior that would embarrass a toddler. But it's reframed as living my best life or being real. No, you're being messy and everyone's tired of it. Club promoter friend tells me they actually have a list of people banned for this behavior. Starting fights over imagined slights, throwing drinks when ignored, causing scenes for attention. These aren't teenagers. These are grown adults who never developed emotional regulation. Society minimizing male victimhood makes everything worse. When men experience harassment, it's comedy. When they're abused, they're weak. When they're used, they're stupid. This double standard enables terrible behavior because perpetrators know there won't be consequences. There was a video of a woman repeatedly grabbing a man at a party despite him saying no. Comments were laughing, saying he was lucky or gay for rejecting her. Reverse those genders and it would be evidence in a criminal trial. But male consent is treated as a joke. The entitlement extends beyond dating into every area, demanding special treatment at work while doing less work, expecting promotions based on existence rather than performance, getting angry when merit actually matters, the shock when the real world doesn't operate on their terms. A manager friend had to fire someone who literally didn't do their job for months. Her response? Discrimination lawsuit. Her evidence? She was the only woman fired, because she was the only one not working. But in her mind, being held to equal standards was oppression. The social media validation economy has created monsters. People who measure their worth in likes, their success in followers, their value in comments. When that digital validation doesn't translate to real-world respect, they malfunction. The algorithm loves them. Why doesn't everyone else? These influencers with bought followers expecting free everything. Restaurants, hotels, services, all should be free because they have 10,000 bots following them. When businesses say no, they threaten exposure campaigns. Your fake influence impresses nobody running a real business. The reality check is coming fast for many. Those who coasted on beauty that's fading. Those who relied on male thirst that's drying up. Those who expected special treatment forever. Time is undefeated, and reality always wins. The wall doesn't care about your feelings. Some people hit 35 still expecting the treatment they got at 22, still demanding the attention, the free drinks, the constant validation. But those men their age, they're either taken, broken, or have learned better. And younger men, they have younger options. The math isn't hard, but acceptance is. The where have all the good men gone articles written by these same people are hilarious. Good men are everywhere, they just aren't interested anymore. They've seen enough, learned enough, lost enough. They'd rather be alone than deal with entitlement and drama. Men are developing strategies to avoid these situations entirely. Don't approach at the gym. Don't engage at work. Don't make eye contact in public. Don't help strangers. The risk-reward calculation has shifted. Being helpful might get you accused. Being friendly might get you sued. The soft guy era isn't about men becoming weak. It's about men refusing to play a rigged game. Why pursue when pursuit is criminalized? Why provide when provision isn't appreciated? Why protect when protection is seen as patriarchy? Men aren't retreating. They're reallocating resources to themselves. The backlash is building in ways some people don't see yet. Men comparing notes, sharing experiences, warning each other, forums, groups, conversations, all spreading awareness. The locker room talk some people feared was about objectification. It's actually about protection and pattern recognition. Young men especially are learning early. They're seeing what happens to their fathers, brothers, friends. They're watching court cases, divorce outcomes, false accusations. They're doing cost-benefit analysis and choosing differently. The behavior that works on previous generations doesn't work on them. The dating app data shows this clearly. Most men swipe rationally. Most women swipe on less than 5% of profiles. Then wonder why those 5% won't commit. You're sharing those men with hundreds of others. The math doesn't work, but acknowledgement would require accountability. The cognitive dissonance when confronted with facts is predictable. Show them statistics. Not all women. Point out patterns. Who hurt you? Present evidence. Small sample size. But their single anecdote represents universal truth. The selective skepticism is transparent. Some people cannot handle mirrors. When you reflect their behavior back, they shatter. When you use their standards on them, they crumble. When you treat them exactly how they treat others, they claim abuse. They want different rules for themselves, and they're not getting them anymore. The public freakout videos are documentation of this entitlement meeting reality. Woman destroying stores because they won't accept expired coupons. Woman screaming at staff because they enforce stated policies. Woman calling police because someone told them no. These aren't isolated incidents, they're patterns. The expectation that everyone must accommodate their feelings is infantile. Grown adults expecting the world to child-proof itself for their comfort, demanding trigger warnings for reality, requiring safe spaces from consequences. This isn't adulthood, it's arrested development. But reality doesn't care about your feelings. Bills don't care if you're stressed. Employers don't care if you're not a morning person. Time doesn't stop because you're not ready. The world keeps spinning regardless of your comfort level. The men who used to enable this behavior are disappearing. The simps are going broke. The white knights are getting burned. The nice guys are learning better. Without that enabling support system, reality hits harder. And some people are completely unprepared for unsupported reality. The strong independent narrative collapses quickly when actual independence is required. When there's no backup, no safety net, no one to blame or bail them out. When they have to actually be strong and independent, not just post about it. The performance meets reality. I watch some people struggle with basic adult tasks their partners used to handle. Taxes, repairs, planning, budgeting, all foreign concepts. They wanted independence but never developed independent skills. They wanted equality but not equal responsibility. The generational divide is interesting. Older women often tell younger ones the truth, but they're dismissed as bitter or jealous. These older women have lived through the consequences. They've seen how this plays out. But wisdom is ignored because it contradicts the narrative. Some grandmother told her granddaughter, "You can't be a queen without a kingdom to run." The granddaughter posted it mockingly online. The comments roasted grandma. But grandma had a 50-year marriage. Granddaughter can't keep a relationship for 50 days. Who's really winning? The culture is starting to shift back toward reality. The pendulum went too far and it's swinging back. Merit is making a comeback. Accountability is being demanded. Consequences are being enforced. The free pass is expiring. 3045 companies are quietly rolling back programs that prioritized feelings over performance. Universities are reinstating standards that were lowered. Reality-based assessment is returning because fantasy-based operation doesn't work in competitive markets. The social media algorithms are changing too. Rage bait and victim content get less reach. Actual talent and value get promoted. The attention economy is recalibrating towards substance. Empty validation farming is becoming less profitable. Some people who built entire identities on victimhood and entitlement are panicking. Their currency is devaluing. Their tactics aren't working. Their demands aren't being met. The special treatment they counted on isn't materializing. The bargaining phase is beginning for many. Suddenly they're traditional when that benefits them. Suddenly they appreciate good men when options dwindle. Suddenly they're not like other girls when differentiation becomes necessary. But the internet remembers everything. The receipts are extensive. Years of posts demanding special treatment. Videos of public meltdowns, dating profiles with delusional requirements, all documented, all searchable, all permanent. The persona they created is now their prison. Men are learning to check these receipts. That sweet traditional woman you met. Here's her social media history. That reformed party girl. Here's her documented body count. That supportive partner. Here's her bashing her ex online. The evidence is everywhere. The privacy invasion complaint is ironic coming from people who document everything. You posted it publicly, but it's private. You shared it online, but it's personal. You built your brand on it, but it's off limits. The hypocrisy is laughable. Some friend showed me a woman's dating profile complaining men judge her past while her Instagram is literally thousands of photos documenting that past. Every party, every trip, every guy, all public. But checking publicly available information is stalking now. The final reality check is biological. Time, fertility, beauty, all finite resources. The lifestyle that works at 25 doesn't work at 45. The options available at 20 aren't available at 40. The treatment received in youth doesn't extend to middle age. Father Time is undefeated. Some people realize too late they spent their youth badly, chased the wrong things, valued the wrong traits, ignored the right people. Now they want a do-over, but life doesn't offer those. You get one youth, and how you spend it determines what comes after. The empowerment they were sold was actually enslavement. Enslaved to validation, to attention, to special treatment they'll never consistently receive. True empowerment is self-sufficiency, but that requires effort they were told they shouldn't have to exert. The world doesn't owe anyone special treatment. Not for your gender, your feelings, your existence. You get what you earn, what you build, what you create, and increasingly, People are learning that harsh truth the hard way. Men figured this out early because they never had another option. Nobody ever cared about our feelings, our struggles, our needs. We had to build, earn, create from day one. Now others are facing that same reality, and they're completely unprepared. The adjustment period will be brutal for those who can't adapt. Those who built their entire identity on special treatment, who never developed real skills, who coasted on temporary advantages. Reality is patient but ruthless. It always wins. But for those who accept reality, who develop actual value, who take accountability, the future is bright. The market rewards real worth. Merit matters again. Accountability creates growth. The special treatment era is ending, but the merit era is beginning. The lesson is simple. Expect nothing. Earn everything. Don't demand special treatment. Become special through achievement. Don't expect accommodation. Become adaptable. Don't require validation. Become valuable. The world owes you nothing, but you can earn everything. Some people will adapt and thrive. Others will rage against reality and fail. Natural selection doesn't care about your feelings. It rewards adaptation, punishes entitlement, and ignores complaints. The universe remains undefeated. The documentation of this cultural moment is important. We're watching entitlement meet indifference in real time. We're seeing narrative meet reality. We're observing what happens when special treatment stops being special. It's educational and entertaining. For men watching this unfold, the lesson is clear. Don't enable, don't simp, don't save. Let reality teach the lessons that need teaching. Your resources are finite. Invest them wisely. Your attention is valuable. Distribute it carefully. Your life is yours. Live it fully. For anyone willing to hear truth, here it is. You're not special just for existing. You're not owed anything for breathing. You're not entitled to anyone's resources, attention, or accommodation. But you can become special through effort, valuable through development, worthy through achievement. The future belongs to those who understand this truth, who build rather than demand, who create rather than complain, who achieve rather than expect. The special treatment era is ending, and honestly, good riddance. Reality is a better teacher than fantasy ever was. The world doesn't owe anyone special treatment. It never did. Some people just got a temporary hall pass that's now being revoked. The adjustment will be difficult, but difficulty creates strength. And strength is what actually earns respect, not demands for it. This isn't hatred or bitterness talking. This is observation and pattern recognition. This is cause and effect. This is reality asserting itself after years of denial. The world is healing, returning to merit, accountability, and natural selection. And that's good for everyone willing to compete fairly. The most telling reaction to all this? When confronted with these truths, some people don't argue the facts. They attack the messenger. They don't dispute the patterns. They claim pointing them out is wrong. They don't deny the behavior. They justify it with increasingly creative mental gymnastics. This defensive response tells you everything. Truth doesn't need such elaborate defenses. I want to hear your stories. Men, what entitled behavior have you witnessed? What reality checks have you seen delivered? What changes have you noticed in how entitlement is being received? Drop your experiences below. Let's document this cultural shift while it's happening. Let's help others see the patterns and protect themselves. Because the world doesn't owe any of us special treatment, and the sooner everyone realizes that, the better off we'll all be.